Hello, everybody, and welcome to my Google Hangout with Miss Denise Nicole. We are doing this Google Hangout as an introduction to a series of Google Hangout videos that we are going to be doing to share our personal testimony as friends, as well as our personal testimony in pageantry and in modeling. And we're doing this in an effort to put the truth out there and tell it like it is. There's been a lot of, I don't want to say controversy, but a lot of controversy regarding our relationship, our journey in pageantry, and in an effort to empower women and inspire women to walk in their greatness and really be who they were destined to be, we wanted to partner together and bring our brands together and share our testimony. I want to start out with talking about Denise and I. We came together in pageantry when I recruited her to compete in a national pageant. Her and I had worked together previously for a brief time, and I saw her on social media in a recent photo shoot that she did back in 2012. And she decided to follow my journey in pageantry and walk the road herself. And so for those of you who don't know, I'm going to start out with a list of events and appearances that Denise and I did together as pageant title holders in her journey to the crown. Professional Women of Color Network event, Overcoming Challenges. We made that appearance together. We also made an appearance at a kinship event together, supporting another one of our sister queens. I'm going back to May of 2013. This is when I was actually crowned a lifetime queen, and Denise had competed in nationals and won a title herself. We came back to Washington State and made these appearances. We also attended the True Font Family Foundation Dress to Impress Gala, which was a great event. We also attended and actually directed the American Beauties Plus Trilogy celebration with our sister queen, Farlisa McFall, who Denise and I both supported, and I also coached and mentored her prior to nationals as well, despite what some people may say or think. Back in May of 2013, Denise and I both judged the Oregon State National American Miss Pageant. We also supported other women in pageantry. Our sister queen, Farlisa McFall, was there as well. So the three of us judged National American Miss in Portland, Oregon. I'll take you to December 2013. Denise and I attended a PWOCN, which is a Professional Women of Color red carpet holiday event. Denise and I also walked in Cheeky Baby's boutique, Saving Our Voices fashion show. We were standing in agreement with a local radio station that was in jeopardy of going off the air, and we made appearances as title holders at the time, and also walked in the fashion show. Denise did also do several things on her own regarding her professional occupation. June and July, she attended Highline Community College commencement. Actually, she graduated, and I supported her in her graduation. Denise and I also modeled in Cheeky Baby's Rent an Antique Car Show. Another event that we did together with our sister queen as the Washington State Trilogy was the Kent Cornucopia Parade, which was a lot of fun. Mercedes-Benz of Linwood was our sponsor for that event. Also, Stadium Flowers in Everett sponsored our vehicle bouquets for that parade, and we've got pictures on social media from that. It was a great experience, a lot of fun there. Denise and I both walked in the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Walk, supporting one of our friends, Naja Patterson, who is a breast cancer survivor. We also hosted several coronations for Washington State queens who were preparing to compete for nationals. And so for those of you that don't understand what a coronation is the formal the formal event when a queen is actually receives her crown and sash, her crown and banner, and she becomes an official representative of her community, preparing to go and compete in her national pageant. So for the Washington State queens that were competing in our national pageant system, Denise and I both facilitated those coronations for all of those queens as well. Are you guys tired yet, hearing about all these appearances and things that we've done? I hope you're not tired, because there's many, 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 many more. We also made an appearance at the Northwest Kidney Center Health Fest for African American families. We presented awards on stage and networked and it encouraged people at that event to raise awareness about kidney failure, which is my platform in pageantry. I'm going to take you guys to November 2013. Denise and I both walked in Chance Fashion Custom Luxury and Evening Gown fashion show that's here locally in Seattle. Gosh, I'm just going down this list. I guess I'll finish off with our most, I think our biggest accomplishment that we made together, and that was January and February of 2014, which was last year. Denise and I both were cast in a reality TV show filming pilot with the title of Rise Up Divas. And we were cast for this reality pilot because of the journey that we both have walked.
You know, Camay, that was a long list of appearances that we did together. I mean, you were going on and on, girlfriend, but, you know, it really doesn't matter how fabulous we were, how fabulous, you know, our journey had been in the beginning of pageantry and walking it out. What it boils down to is the lives that we changed, the platform that we stood on, how much we respected what we were doing in pageantry and respected each other. But negative influences came in and they really, really tore apart what we were doing together. And so with the demise of our friendship, I think that's what that controversy is, that people don't really know the truth. Even in that moment of making all those appearances, behind the scenes, we weren't on speaking terms. So that's what we're here today, is clear the air, let you know what's really good, how we overcame that, and how we're walking it out by faith. So thank you for tuning in. I am Denise Nicole. This is Camay McClure, and get ready to rock out.
Well, Denise, let's start at the beginning. I want to start at the very beginning, when I reached out to you and interested you in competing in pageantry. You actually witnessed my journey when I was carrying my ambassador title. You and I actually did the Susan G. Komen walk with our friend Naja Chanel. And so that kind of, gave you a glimpse of what was going on. But why did you decide to take a state title representing Washington State and compete for a national title?
Well, here's the thing. There's multiple reasons why I wanted to join pageantry. Modeling has always been my first love. And that's actually how you reconnected with me, was seeing a photo shoot that I recently did and put out on the internet. My reasoning is because my mother, number one, already raised me to be a queen. And before she passed away, she used to always tell me, baby girl, you got to become somebody. And I was like, okay, those are big shoes to fill. How am I going to get there? And so when you reached out to me, I did my research on the system, and I wanted to be a part of a sisterhood of like-minded individuals who were making differences in their communities. And so I said, this is the perfect time. It's 10 years after my mother passed, 10 years after being a single mom. I was a teen mother, and in being a teen mother, I lost all my college scholarships. So 10 years later, after walking that journey, I said, this is the time for me to break out of this box that I felt like society was trying to trap me in by being a statistic. And I said, let me do something that's going to make a difference in my life first. And anybody's life that gets touched on the way, that's an added bonus. So that's why I joined.
What the first step in pageantry is choosing a platform, and I briefly shared my platform was kidney disease. So tell our audience what platform did you choose, and why did you choose that platform?
My platform is education in teen pregnancy prevention and awareness. People don't know this about me because I'm all for education now, but I was a high school dropout. I dropped out 6 months into high school, and then I went from being a dropout to going back to high school after obtaining a GED, and I became an associate president, and I did every single club, every single type of leadership you could do in high school. I was that girl. I worked on the youth council under the assistant mayor in Lakewood City Council, and imagine me telling everybody I'm pregnant. So not only did I lose my college scholarships, but at the time that I'm going to own up to my responsibilities, and I'm going to raise my child. I'm going to be the best mom I can be, and I'm going to show everybody who thinks that just because I'm a teen mom that I just put my life on hold. And so that's why I chose that platform, is because it was my testimony. I had already walked it out for 10 years, and there was other women and young girls who lived in that same journey as I did. They were, typecasted and, almost ostracized for, making those choices. But the thing that made a difference in my life was standing in my journey and walking it out.
So I've shared. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you have the floor.
Okay. So I was going to ask you, the power behind having a title.
That's a great question. That's really a great question. I will tell you, when I got involved in pageantry, I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was, recruited by a state director and, asked, hey, you should, take a title in pageantry and, empower other women. And I thought, well, that's what I've kind of always done. So yeah, why not? I can do that. I'm cute. I can get on a stage and be cute because that's who I am. And I did not really understand the biblical foundation of pageantry, and I really didn't understand and realize at the time the voice, the power in my voice it was going to give me. And so I think I realized it when I attended a celebrity bowling event here locally in Bellevue, and I was in regalia, and I did not plan to be in regalia. And for those of you that don't know, regalia is our crown and sash. And I walked into this event and didn't even have to show my ticket. It was, the door was just opened for me, come on in. And I walked into the VIP section of this event and was immediately approached by many, many, many people. It's actually where I ended up meeting my pageant coach. And that was really the aha moment for me. A woman came up to me, and I was Ms. Everett at the time. I had taken a local title and was competing for a state title at that time. And a woman came up to me and she said, "You're Ms. Everett? Oh my gosh, no one thinks anything happens in the city of Everett, but it's really happening in Everett now." And Sean Kemp, Sean Kemp was at this event. For those of you that don't know Sean Kemp, he used to play for the Supersonics. He's from this area, and he came up to me and said, "Congratulations, I'm so proud of you." And I had not actually competed at that time. I had just, Ms. Everett was my honorary state title, but I just realized that was really the aha moment for me, was wow, people notice me. I have a crown and sash on, and so people want to know who I am and why I'm here and what I represent. And I was so well respected in that moment. And I guess that's the power, in appearances, and that's the point of being a public figure, and that's the point of being a title holder in pageantry, is using that platform to get out into your community to touch the lives of people. When I was opening our hangout today, Denise, I listed off, appearances that you and I made together as reigning queens.
Right.
And the purpose of this content that we're capturing is for both of us to be able to share how we work together, how I coached you, how I mentored you, how we have had such a list of accomplishments, and how we are using those now today going forward to empower and make a difference in other women's lives. First and foremost, restoring and healing and having restoration in our relationships with other women. And then, using coaching and mentoring to really empower other women in their greatness. So when I first started the hangout, I talked about our appearances that we made together. And I want to ask you, and I want you to share with our audience the appearances that we made together before nationals, and how we used those appearances to prepare you for competition. What was that like for you?
We made at least 15 appearances a month, and it was just community networking, and they want to do it, but they don't know where to go because there's not really a home for it. And I shared how to show up and be on time, how to really just meet and greet and just be the queen that we are. There was a lot of young girls approach us, and they're like, "Oh my God, I just want to wear your crown. Tell me yourself." And at these appearances, like the Kidney Center event that we did together, it was awesome to be and on stage and promote health and let people see that we are curvy women, but we're also healthy women.
Are you still with me? We might have lost Denise.
No, the role. I'm still with you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Folks, this is what happens with live broadcasts. And for those of you who know me, you know that I am the CEO and the host of the Miss Camay Show on Alternative Talk 1150 a.m. And these are some of the things that happen when you do live broadcast, and we kind of have to roll with the punches because we're live. So Denise, can you still hear me? Are you with us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great now.
I'm back. Okay, perfect.
Okay, great. So we didn't really honestly get the information about the appearances that you and I made together. So can you share that again? What was your experience with, all the appearances that we made together while I was coaching you, preparing you for nationals?
Mainly being on these platforms, being able to share our journey, our stories. But I said my favorite event that we did together because here we are, two curvy are walking in our journeys, and we were just
Well, to our audience, it looks like we've lost Denise. So I will continue to move forward until she's able to join us again. I can see her on the Hangout. Can you hear us, Denise?
I can hear you.
Okay, there, you're better.
Okay.
Okay, if we can keep your voice on, if we can keep your voice on, we're good, because that's what we want to hear. Not that we don't want to see your beautiful face, but we want to hear you more importantly.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can. So let me ask you this.
That's perfect.
How was the coaching effective for you in preparing you for competition?
It was effective. Hearing like, oh, by the way, there's a runway here at Macy's, and we're gonna walk out on this stage, and you put me on the platform, and you had me walk in front of everybody that was at the mall, and it breaks your nervousness. It gets you thinking outside of the box, and you really showed me that anytime you're out as a public figure, you're always on. It doesn't matter if you're getting out the car, if you're in the airport traveling, you're on. People, they see you on social media, and then they see you out, and they're like, hey, aren't you such and such? Yes, I'm Denise Nicole. How you doing? So yeah, you really prepared me just to, be on and be ready. Show up and show out.
Did your coaching that you received from me, did that build a foundation for you in early on in your journey to create an ability for you to coach other women?
It definitely has, because multiple women have come to me now, fast forward life after my reign, and they want to know, how are you getting into all these different arenas? How are you being able to get these modeling jobs, or make these type of appearances? And it's really about following through. Implanted in me was the follow through is everything. When people reach out and say, hey, this is where I need you to be, just responding to them in a timely manner. It's all about being a professional. It's not just about wearing a title. It's about being a professional with that title.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's really a good point, because a lot of women who get involved in pageantry, they think that that's all it's about, is getting up on stage and looking pretty. And they fail to realize that they're a public figure and that people look up to them, and how they behave in business and how they behave personally, it's going to come out. If they're not being real and honest and transparent in who they are as women, it's going to come out in pageantry for sure.
Absolutely. And another thing is your presence on social media. How you present yourself, what you're posting. People, they really follow that once you're a public figure. And if you're putting garbage and negativity out there, that's exactly what you're going to get back. People aren't going to respect you, your trade, your brand, your system. One thing that I can say that we both honored was the respect that we gave to our system, to our brands, and to ourselves. Still to this day, it's somebody inboxed me the other day and they said, why do you always post positive stuff? And I said, baby girl, if I posted everything negative that happened in my life, it would be so dramatic and draining. You know what I mean? So I want to get positive back, so I'm going to put positive out in the atmosphere.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit for a minute, because as you know, and as I've shared with you, there has been people who have had their own opinions of me, who don't necessarily favor me, don't necessarily favor what I have gone on to do from pageantry. I know that that's something that you've experienced as well. And they have, I guess, posted or really gone out of their way on social media to, share, I guess, their unfavorable opinion about myself. And I'll just speak to myself in reference to this conversation. And it hasn't just been once or twice. It's been many, many times over a significant period of time. And I've never, ever once stepped outside of myself and displayed that same behavior. And I've never shared my own personal opinion, whether it was positive or negative, about these certain, individuals ever, because that's not who I am as a woman. That is not who I am as a person. That is not who I am as a business professional. And so when you have seen these things as a title holder yourself, and, the sisterhood that we've created in pageantry based on our own journey, that is something that you and I never did. Although our friendship had, I guess the demise of our friendship, I will say, although we had this personal aspect that was operating and going on that we were dealing with at the time, your commitment to pageantry, your commitment to your title, your commitment to our professional commitments that we made to sponsors, to business organizations, to other women, we never ever shared that. We never went to social media and shared what was going on. We never disrespected each other. We just never did that. And and there were many appearances that we made when we were not on speaking terms. There were many things that you and I did together over, I would say, over almost an entire year. But we showed up, we were professional, we maintained our integrity as women. And aren't you seeing a lot of that even now on social media, where, people are friends or people are supporting a certain pageant system, and then they're not supporting that pageant system anymore. And then now all of a sudden, they're the worst woman in the world. What's your experience with that? And kind of share also, I want you to talk about your commitment to what we were doing together, because it was really what was in our heart to do. Our personal friendship really was irrelevant to what we were doing and the example that we were being to other women.
I think you said it perfect when you said that we had a job to do. We owed it to, the system that we were a part of. We owed it to our sponsors. There's people that put up so much faith in us, and there's people that would only want us together. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we could book stuff by ourselves, but they wanted us together.
Yes.
So I think the biggest thing was, I'm not going to quit a job because somebody that sits next to me doesn't like me. You know what I mean? I'm going to show up and I'm going to be my professional self. And there's times where we had to dance on stage together. And in those moments, I don't think it was being fake or phony. I think it was, all about being a professional. And we still carried on conversations, and nobody in the room knew what was going on. And if they did, they weren't bringing it to us. And if they did, it was really irrelevant, because like I said, when I show up to work, I don't show up with the trash from last week. You know what I mean? I show up to work and I'm like, okay, what needs to be done? Where do we need to be? Who do we need to shake hands with? And then show up for work, and then you leave work. In regards to, what's being put out there, I want to say that I have had an experience of posting something very personal on social media, and it tainted my brand. And I had to learn from that. And at the end of the day, I've challenged myself to check my emotions, and I've had to learn from that mistake, because you don't ever want to put somebody in a position to where you're damaging their brand or their image or whatever by your feelings. And that's why you and I never did that to each other, because we still were professional about the situation. And so in that, I learned a lot about myself, and I had to actually step back and rebuild my brand, refocus myself, because if you sit there and you feed into social media and what people are putting out there and talking bad about you, that's going to get in your spirit. And I don't have time for negativity. I never have. I've never been a mean girl. I used to be a bully back in the day. Praise God, I've recovered. But it's really all about like walking out day by day. And I say this all the time: life is too short to cast down somebody else, because, you know, he without sin cast the first stone. And we all have issues and isms and schisms, but what it's about is continuing to build your brand, to be a positive role model, because I take the title of being a public figure very seriously. And so, you know, if somebody was like, Denise, you hurt me by what you put on social media talking about this other woman, I never thought that you would be the one to do that, I have to apologize to those people, because I don't want my daughter or somebody else's daughter that respects me to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's what you said. You know what I mean? Forget what they said, because my brand is about empowering women and uplifting women. I don't care if we were friends last year, 2 years ago, and still aren't friends. Nobody needs to know that. So it's definitely, you know, something that you live and you learn. For the naysayers, you know, kick rocks, because at the end of the day, God made me the woman that I am. My mother showed me how to be a queen. You know what I mean? So with or without a crown, I'm still a queen. And so I just encourage women that if you are going through something with one of your friends, that don't wait until that person has passed away to be like, girl, we did so much stuff together. I thank God that you and we had this conversation the other day, that we're able to have that conversation in life. We're able to celebrate with each other. We didn't have to wait to go to, you know, the graveside and be like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. We could do that right now in the flesh. And then look at all the women's lives that are being changed, because women, they don't like each other anyway. You know what I mean? We've been put in this box of compete with her. There's no competition. We're supposed to be here empowering each other and motivating each other to be the best women that we can be. So again, to answer your question, I don't feed into that social media drama. Like, people are bullies behind the keyboard, and ain't nobody got time for that. You know, if you are going to bully me, like, I've had women take the time out of their life to create a fake profile to inbox me about some drama. And I'm like, okay, you're not even woman enough to show me who you are, so you're not going to get addressed or get a rise out of me. So they've had their 15 seconds of fame right now. So on to the next question.
Well, I know for me, during, you know, the demise of our friendship, it was heartbreaking to me. It was very, very upsetting to me, because what we were doing together was so great, and I have love in my heart for you, and was so proud of you that you saw your greatness and that you were running in it. You weren't just walking in it, you were running in it. And, you know, for me, I mean, you and I had attended events, and I'm just going to be real right now. You and I attended events with people that we didn't favor in pageantry, and I'm talking in pageantry. And no one ever knew. No one could ever tell. There was never any, you know, confrontation. We showed up and we supported what we were doing. We supported our brand. We supported the system that we were in, and we supported who we were there to support, regardless of how we felt about somebody that was there that we did not care for. Am I right?
That's right. So and let me say this. Let me pause you really quick, because this is so important for women to get what you're saying. When you take off your crown at the end of that appearance, you should be acting in the same manner that you were when you had that crown on. You know what I mean? Don't take the crown off and then start spewing out this nasty vial. Be that same authentic woman inside and out. And I can only speak for myself, because I am Denise Nicole, and nobody can tell my story better than I can. So, you know, that right there alone, women not knowing the struggles that we had together, and then being in the same rooms and still being professional, that's the key.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you and I did that during the coaching and the mentoring that we were doing together, we were still able to support other women, whether we liked them personally or not, because the platform and pageantry and empowering women was really the priority. So because you and I were able to walk in that in authenticity, we were able to, again, walk in that in authenticity when our friendship fell apart. Is that fair to say?
That's true to say. That's a true statement.
Let's come to the present. We're coming kind of around the other side of the clock, and we've got about 15, 20 minutes left in our broadcast today. I want to talk about the present with you, where we're at today with, everything that's happened, and why you and I are sharing our story with the world. So I guess, life after your reign, right?
Right.
I am a lifetime title holder in plus size pageantry. It's a title that I earned. You are a lifetime ambassador supreme, which is a title that you earned. No one can ever take that away from us. No one can ever take away the journey that we've walked. We can no longer be active in a pageant system. We can no longer even be empowering women. We can be going, choose to go a completely different direction. But at the end of the day, that was our journey. We walked it. We competed. We won our titles. We were crowned, with lifetime titles. That can never, ever, ever be taken away from either one of us. And I want that message to be heard today to whoever's watching now live and whoever is going to tune in and watch this broadcast later. What Denise and I are sharing with you is our journey, our personal testimony, and the success that we had in doing that. We don't have to be active in a pageant system. We don't have to be recruiting for a particular pageant system in order to be able to coach and mentor and empower other women in their walk to the crown or in their walk to greatness, period. You made the statement to me recently, Denise, that and also in the moment of being faced with the realization that pageantry was only one pillar in your walk to greatness, just one, and you've had many. You said to me, I was a queen before I won my crown, and I will be a queen after my reign is over. Talk about that.
I'll go back to my foundation. And like I said, my mother raised me to be a queen. I was her only daughter. And I'm talking about from silk dresses in kindergarten to satin pink sheets, the whole 9 yards. And she planted a seed in me to hold myself to a certain standard, to hold myself to a certain regard, and don't let what comes at you affect you, because the higher you get elevated in life, and that's not saying I'm above anybody, it's just saying that she planted a seed of greatness in me, that there's also going to be attacks. And there's a crab in the barrel syndrome where if you're rising up, there's crabs at the bottom of that barrel that's like, no, 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 you can't go any higher than this rim because we can't go that high. And so that's what I mean by that, is like my journey that I'm on, I don't even know the capacity of my journey yet. I'm still in a season where I'm letting God lead my life. And wherever he takes me, that's where my journey is going to go. It's not defined by pageantry. It's not defined by modeling. It's simply divine purpose. And so that's what I mean by that statement, is that I'm going to walk in my divine purpose wherever that may be. And my journey, like you said, my journey is my journey. I've walked it already. So I'm not going to go back and relive an area of my life that I've already walked. I don't have a desire to compete again in pageantry. Because again, that was a season of my life, and pageantry was a positive pillar that really broke me out of a box that I was in. And I'm talking about working 3 jobs, being a single mother, going to school, getting my education. You keep your head down and you're just working your way through life. But there was a time in a season where I was like, I have to do something different. I have to do something that fulfills the passion that's in my heart. And that's what pageantry opened the door for and gave me the platform for. So forever, I'll respect that. Where I'm going to go in life now, again, I love to model. I love everything that I'm doing in that industry. And women have asked me, can you help me get to where you are? The question is, no, I can't get you to where I'm at, but I can get you on your path to where you need to be. And that's the same thing that you did for me. So thank you to that as well.
Well, I saw it in you when I saw that first picture of you on social media. I was like, I need to talk to her because she's pretty fabulous. You wanted to share, kind of again, to just elaborate more on that topic, you wanted to talk about, being a beauty queen and, walking that journey of pageantry, how, when you and I were making so many appearances together and, rocking so many runways together, about the production side of, things that we were pulled into together. Talk about that a little bit, what you wanted to share.
So for me, the craziest thing about it is when you get called or you get casted in a show, you show up and you are expecting to be the one that's taking directions because we are beautiful canvases that are going to model these garments. Right. And majority of the time that we were casted in shows, we got pulled into the production side. And, that's teach them how to walk, show them how to walk. You guys are beauty queens. You've done this on a national level. And what I loved is that we were always the openers and the finishers. And I remember you saying, well, in the law industry, they always present their case with the strongest and, at the beginning and the end of the case. Is that correct?
Right, correct. We're in trial, in litigation. You have an opening statement and, all the stuff in between, and then you have a closing statement. Yes.
Right. So the powerhouse.
Right.
And we were dubbed as a dynamic duo. And I remember Cheeky Baby's Boutique in Renton. Her voice stands out so much to me because she'd be like, Denise, Camay, come here. And it was almost like our name was one because she would say it so fast. And It was really, it was an honor, and it still is an honor. And, the show that I recently did on Sunday, when I put your name on the guest list, the production director was like, well, why isn't Camay walking in this show? So people, years later, they still want to see this dynamic duo open and close a show.
Yes. I can also share that, since we have, our relationship has been restored for some time. It didn't just happen yesterday or last night. We've actually been restoring our friendship over the last year. And when we made our public announcement, for, our coaching and mentoring that we are going to be doing together, I have had so many messages from so many people who know us and know the power that we have together. They've been delighted. They are so happy, to see us together. They're so happy to see us on this platform again, empowering women, especially here in Washington State and the greater Pacific Northwest. And they're just excited because they know they've seen it before. And I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful. I thank God every day that He has restored our friendship and really, kept our hearts pure and, giving us the opportunity again, because we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of women's lives to touch. A lot of things that we've got going on individually. I want people to understand that, me bringing you into this platform and having you share, what your experience was with me as a coach, with me as a friend, with me as a business partner, is because, you know, I'm going in a certain direction in my greatness. You with your brand, with I am Denise Nicole, INC, you're going in a direction. So we are supporting each other. We are empowering each other. We are building each other up. And we're moving forward together in our own direction, I guess. So this is not something that, you know, I'm manipulating Denise into doing at all. You know, I just definitely want to, you know, touch on that, because there's definitely been some of that controversy that has gone on as well. So speaking of controversy, Denise, you have something you want to ask me.
I do. I wanted to ask you, over the last year with your lifetime title, because if we're going to have this type of forum, we need to be open and honest and get it out there so that way we can move forward within our series. And there's a lot of public outbursts about people that claim to know the full details about it. I don't even know the full details about it. But what can you tell us in regards to that?
Well, there has been some controversy about my lifetime title, that I rescinded my title, which is not true. I've never rescinded my lifetime title. I never obviously rescinded my ambassador title. The only title that I ever rescinded was my first runner-up title to the Washington Plus America pageant. I rescinded my first runner-up title with that system because that was not a system that I wanted to continue to partner with. And so I made the formal announcement, communicated my decision to the national office with that pageant system, as well as my state director at that time. And, you know, went on to a different system and competed, won a national title. And then the following year, I was crowned a lifetime queen based on my commitment to my platform, as well as my contribution to that pageant system. And after, you know, my year active reign, and then coming back and being a lifetime queen, and seeing some things in pageantry that were definitely very heartbreaking to me, and very upsetting to me, I made the decision that, you know, my active reign, my active lifetime reign, which those reigns last 1 year. My active reign was over that April. I was the delegate liaison for my pageant system at that time. I was also the legal advocate for my pageant system at that time as well. And those roles or responsibilities, those volunteer positions, those aren't designated by a year. You can, you know, continue to support your pageant system or carry a role or responsibility in a pageant system and not have an active title. And so those were the responsibilities that I communicated to my pageant system that I no longer wanted to be responsible for. I no longer wanted to be the delegate liaison, and I no longer wanted to be the pageant system's legal advocate. I did not want to be involved with the national office any longer. I wanted to take my lifetime title and move forward from that and uninvolve myself with the drama. And that's really the honest to God truth. I communicated that to my national director. I have, you know, email correspondence back and forth with her about that. And, you know, she even expressed, you know, her, or she even acknowledged the fact that I, you know, still was a lifetime title holder and that she still wanted to be made aware of any appearances that I would make with my lifetime title, because I was still, you know, technically a representative of her pageant system. And so for those of you who have speculated, for those of you who have gossiped, for you know, even my national pageant system to post anything on social media or send messages to anybody or reach out to anybody that I am doing business with or that I'm affiliated with and tell them anything less than what the truth is, you know, I encourage you to reach out to me. I encourage you to watch this video. I don't have to, explain myself, and I certainly don't have to defend, where I have been and what I'm doing today. As I shared with you before, that was my journey. I walked it. I competed. I won a title. I was crowned a lifetime queen. No one can deny that. They can take me off of their website. They can take down all my pictures. They can, deny that I ever did anything for the pageant system, but the content and the footage is still there. The history is still there. They can never, ever take that away from me. And I will take my experience, and I will take my pageant journey and the success in my pageant journey as I move forward in all of the things that I'm doing. And I would, ask that people really see that they see the representative that I am today, that they listen to what I'm saying about my pageant journey and where I've been and what I've been through, and understand that pageantry gave me my voice. Pageantry gave me the platform to stand on, to be heard. And that cannot be denied. And what a blessing that is for me to have gone through that experience, for me to have competed in pageantry, and for me to do all the things that I did within that organization. Because I'll tell you, Denise, everything that I'm doing now today, being the executive director of Miss Camay's Black Tie Fashion Gala, bringing plus size fashion for women and big and tall fashion for men here to Seattle, because that platform does not exist. Well, that all started with pageantry. That all started with my commitment and my dedication to my pageant system when I was a lifetime queen. Being involved in production, like you have shared, we were always brought into the production side of the things that we did together. All of those experiences gave me the foundation and built the foundation for me to go out into the community and to continue doing that and allow other women to come behind me in pageantry and find their voice and find their greatness. If I wasn't involved so significantly in my pageant system with my national office, I probably wouldn't be successful in what I'm doing today. It was that experience that really, I guess, like I said, laid the foundation of where I'm going to today. So that's the story. That's the truth. People are going to continue to post up on social media. People are probably going to watch this broadcast, Denise, and, say whatever they want to say about it. But at the end of the day, you and I know what we're doing. You and I know where we've been. You and I know where we're going. And there are women out in the world whose lives we are going to touch, whose lives we are going to impact, who we will be able to show them how to get on the road to their greatness. Period, point blank, at the end of the day. They can say whatever they want to say, but you and I are going to continue to go on as we have, doing great, great, great things in the world today.
Well, thank you for sharing your journey and your truth of that experience. And I want to say not everybody's journey and experience is going to be the same, because your journey and experience in pageantry is different from mine, and as will be for queens to come. I'm grateful for the opportunity that I have to have pageantry as a platform, and just get to know some amazing women from our system, from other sister systems. I think that's one of my favorite things, is that women they started an outpour of love and support from the time I took my first state title to current day. And it's amazing to see where these journeys are taking the women that are in pageantry, especially plus size pageantry, because like you said, in Seattle, there is no platform for plus size women, for plus size men. And, it's an honor to even be a national title holder. And I'm grateful that you are able to share your story. But again, our stories, they're similar, but they aren't the same.
Right.
And so I definitely want to share that with people that, Camay sharing her story isn't to deter you from pageantry. That's just her journey. There's amazing things that come from pageantry. And number one, if you take anything away from this video, it's the empowerment that you get to be your best authentic self. And that's what I took away from pageantry. The relationships that you get, if you make friends in it, great. If you don't, I'm telling you, there's no way that you can walk the pageant journey and your life not be changed. So I encourage you to do some research, get to, know what system you want to compete in, get to know, the sisterhood. And again, pageantry may not be for you, but, you may want to see what we're doing in the modeling industry and you want to know about that. Again, do your research. Anytime you put your name and align your name with a brand, you want to do your research. And I wanted to chat with you, Camay, because one thing that you taught me very on in the beginning, I think you even gave me like, girl, go home and read this. And it was about the story of Esther and the biblical sense of pageantry. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, as I shared with you, when I finally realized, the power in my title and the power of pageantry, and really sat down and really thought about, okay, I'm on this journey and, I'm impacting women's lives and I'm encouraging them, to love themselves. I had a schoolmate reach out to me through my website. Her name was Monica Lucero. And she sent me a message and she said, you might not remember me, but we rode the bus together, in junior high school. And I thought about you all these years and you really empowered me when we were kids. And you didn't let people, encourage me not to allow the people that were bullying me and teasing me about my weight to really impact my life. And I'll never forget that. And so in that moment, I was like, wow. So I have been doing this my whole life. I've been a queen my whole life. And it just really resonated with me, knowing the Bible and knowing the book of Esther. And for anybody that's watching today, if you are really curious about pageantry and the power of pageantry, read the book of Esther in the Bible. You can research it online, Google it, it'll come up. And what it really, in a sense, tells you is all of the women in the community took an entire year and prepared themselves to go in front of the king and be chosen. They all knew that they were doing that. They all knew what was at stake. They all knew what the role was, or the job essentially was that they were going to, compete for. And they took an entire year to prepare themselves, Esther included. And when Esther was preparing herself to step into that role of being queen, once she was there and realized the power that she had, I mean, she knew her enemies were. She knew who her enemy was. She knew that there was somebody coming for her and who had actually gone to the king and was trying to convince the king, in revealing that she was a Jew, he was trying to get the king to behead her. And she knew that. And she welcomed this person into her castle, into her home, because she wasn't afraid of what that person could say or do. She knew that she had the power to save the people. And that's essentially what she did. She made a difference in her community. She saved an entire race of people. And so pageantry is not about the crown. It's not about the sparkly this. It's not about the dress and the makeup and the lashes and, oh, I get to look cute. If that's what you get involved in pageantry about, that's where all this madness and all this gossip and all this haterism is coming from, is because there are women who get involved in pageantry for the wrong reasons. And we'd have to ask them what it's for. But my belief and the reason why I want to coach other women in pageantry and pageant competition, despite what I've been through, despite what has been done to me or said about me, is because I believe in the biblical foundation of pageantry, because I have walked that. I have been able to prepare myself. I have been chosen, and I was chosen. A lifetime title is a title that is given to somebody. There's no competition for a lifetime title, at least not in our system that we were affiliated with. But being chosen and preparing myself to be chosen and to be a woman that goes out into the community and serves the people, that is the foundation of pageantry. Esther's greatness was essentially revealed to her when she was chosen, when she was crowned a queen. And that's when she was able to go out and save an entire race of people. So that's how I can come to you and how I can say to other women, let me coach you in pageantry. I know what it takes to win. I know what it takes to prepare yourself to go and be chosen. I know that because I've done it. And I've also coached and mentored other women to do the same thing. So it's effective and it works because I've been successful at doing it. And that's the foundation of what we are doing together today, Denise. You are able to coach and mentor other women in modeling because you've done that. You've prepared yourself. You've taken the time to prepare yourself and get yourself together and know what it is that you need to do so that when you go and cast for a fashion show and you are picked, you already know that platform that you can walk, and that's a solid foundation for you to go and be involved in that event and be an example to other women in modeling. Am I right?
I would say that you are right with that. To me, it's more about being a support system to somebody, being a guide and a resource, because there are a lot of avenues that you can take, whether it's pageantry or modeling, and I only know my journey, and I'm still I don't know how far it's gonna go, but first and foremost, as a woman, I never will put another woman down and degrade them and say can do that, or I don't think you can make it, because who am I to say what your greatness is? So I'm ready to take some women on the journey with me. My sister girls that have inboxed me or, tell me, Denise, keep doing what you're doing. You're really inspiring me. And let me tell you, it really shocked me when I had women that are more seasoned in life than me come to me and say, I'm like, really? Little me, I'm just doing what I love to do, what I'm passionate about. And I'm glad that you see something in me that's encouraging you to be more authentically yourself, I would say. So I'm grateful for the opportunities that are coming our way.
Well, in closing, I just want to say, first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for tuning in who's watching live. I also want to thank in advance the people who are going to watch this broadcast later. For tuning in and allowing us to share our testimony and our story with you. We are going to be broadcasting a few more videos through Google Hangouts, and we've had some technical difficulties today, but we're going to work through them. So we want to ensure that you can see us and see us on video and join the live broadcast always. But we've got about a series of 5 videos that we are going to be putting out together, Denise and I, about pageant competition and also modeling. So those will come out on a schedule, and we'll post, more about that a little bit later once we get our schedule together. We did kind of change the time regarding this first initial broadcast. So thank you so much for everybody that, stayed connected and stayed tuned in and made sure that you didn't miss the broadcast. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulty side of it, but we're very excited. Denise, I'm very excited. The photo shoot that we had together 2 weeks ago was fabulous. It was so great to see us together again. and really just, you know, put ourselves out there in true transparency in an effort to empower other women and make a difference. Do you have anything to say that you want to say in closing, Denise, before we log off of our live broadcast?
Absolutely. Well, I want to, you mentioned our photo shoot that we did 2 weeks ago. So I want to thank our sponsor photographer, Tiffany Rude Photography. She did a fantastic job. I definitely want people to know that this initial video, there was a lot of passion that came out in this video because it's the first live series that we're doing together after, you know, but negative, you have to put everything out on the table and move forward. And so now that it's all out there, you know, don't you feel lighter?
Yeah.
you got your voice out there. Sometimes you just got to let it go and move forward. And, you know, coming forward, I hope that all the people that joined us live and all of our people that want to follow our journey, that you are inspired. If there's questions that you want to know about, inbox us on Facebook, or if you have our emails, we'll definitely be posting up that information on how you can connect with us. If there's questions that you directly want to know, we'll try to include that content in our next video.
Yes, and miss us with the madness. Don't inbox us with the madness. If you're, you know, tuning into these broadcasts and, you know, if you are going to try and be messy, I mean, you just miss us with that. We're not interested in that. That is not what we're doing. That is not what we're using this platform for. We want to love women, and we want to encourage women, and we want to be that example and show other women that you can have restoration in your friendships, that you can forgive each other, that you can love each other, and that you can continue moving forward in this journey in life, and be compassionate and love yourself and love the women around you. So I thank you so much. Again, thank you to our sponsor photographer for the photo shoot for this project. She did a fabulous job, fabulous job. We have many more pictures coming out from that shoot too, so stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for our next broadcast session that we will be talking about. I think we are going to start with, what are we going to start with? What is our first video going to be about, Denise? Do you remember?
I believe it's going to be about preparation and just preparing yourself for the pageant, because I know that we went over the great kit that we put together for my first national pageant that I competed in, which was Hearts of America pageant. So stay tuned, because I'm really excited to share that journey.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for joining me today, Denise. I so appreciate it. I'm so excited for what you and I are going to do together. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Until next time. Mwah.